Pinky pump. You'll definitely need some sort of cleaning solution. This is the solution I prefer. Don't ask me to pronounce it, but I'm going to try. Chlorhexidine. Some people might say it different, but there we go. Chlorhexidine solution. As you can see, for animal use only, for external use only. This is just something that I clean with. One of the solutions other than F10, but anyway, that's beside the point. You got a needle, you'll need that. You'll need a knife to cut the needle. You'll need sandpaper, and I'll show you all of these steps, but this is the start of making a pinky pump. First thing you do is you grab the syringe, open it up. That very first line, you'll see it's right here. You take it, and we just cut the rest of the syringe off. Once again, let me show you. Use a smooth, this one's dirty, but we'll clean the syringe before we use it. Use a smooth blade, no jagged cuts. I'm slightly twisting the syringe as well, so I make a complete line around versus me trying to just cut straight through, because it's not going to do what you want. I'm going to try to get it on camera. You can see the line starting. Now, when you're done getting through there, even though you used a knife that wasn't serrated or whatever, you're still going to have some parts that are jagged. As you see, I just pushed that off, and I got it real close for you to see. This is sort of how you want it. The cleaner the cut, the less you'll need sandpaper. But the plunger will continue through, as you just seen. Plunger, it's no longer this. So you got a nice amount that'll still come through. I don't know if you can see that, but it's versus my finger. You know what I mean? The pinky, be honest with you, you might have to cut. If this is too much for you, then you might not need to try to force feed, or the correct word nowadays is assist feed. But this is what I do with this. Take a piece of sandpaper. You can get this from Dollar Tree. It doesn't have to be nothing special. And petroleum jelly will be used, so don't worry about scratch. You have the opportunity to scratch your snakes through if you do not do this correctly. So I'm going to show you the full video. The next animal I have, which I hope is never, but needs to be assist fed, which I have none at the moment, I'll show you that too. So I'll definitely do a part 2. But what you do is, to the touch, you'll feel it, that it needs it in certain spaces. And when you do, you address those spaces. You can see, I felt it. Let me try to get a better view. And this is the piece that I was going for. Now I can touch it, and it's smooth. Try to zoom in on that for you. I see another little edge right there that I'm going to get off. But just for the sake of time, I take my cleaning solution for animal use only. Go ahead, dip it, dip it, dip it, dip it. You can actually still see that the sucker works. And I call it the sucker, but the syringe, the plunger, still works. You get that out of there, you clean it, make sure you don't have any particles from you cleaning it and cutting it and all that good stuff. Go ahead and clean it thoroughly, inside and out. And that's me taking the napkin tissue and getting the inside clean just as well as I'm going to get the outside. That being said, once again, to the touch, you can feel that it's smooth where I rounded the end, so it's, what do I want to say, tapered. It's definitely tapered. You can feel a slight taper to it so that it won't really catch the animal. The next step is petroleum jelly. Since I don't have an animal to actually show this technique that I use on, multiply at least this little bit that's on my finger by, I'll say, a whole bunch. Because you want it to be this thick all the way around. And then once you have it that thick, you take it and you just run it around. Run it around. Once again, I'm not using as much because I don't have an animal to use it on. But you want it super duper thick. Then you want to take it, another hand or another finger full, and you want to put it all around here. All around there. So that way it's nice and lubricated. As you can see, it's lubricated now. But you want a little bit more. The more, the better. It's safer for the animal. It's not abrasive. So you want to go ahead and make sure you put enough on there. Now that you have that like this, you'll end up doing it again. Because it's one of two ways you can do this. Cut the pinky 4, 5, 6 times. A lot of times the head will not fit in there. If it's a small enough pinky, it will. But if the head doesn't fit, okay, use your imagination. Get it in there. You have knives, you have things to use, go ahead and get it in there. And you can either suck it in there, or you can go ahead and push the pinky in there. Pinky get in there, he's going to come to about here or so. That's going to give you room to go ahead, put your plunger back in. Once your plunger's in, your pinky's in. Go ahead, push all of the air out. I'll show you. Push all of the air out. You see the plunger. Now that's probably the pinky in this portion now. That's where you want it. You don't want to give the snake air. It's not going to hurt them, but you don't want to give them air. Just like you would do a regular needle. Once you have the pinky in there, in the needle, it's no longer a needle. I call it the plunger. Once you have it in the plunger, go ahead, add more petroleum jelly. Just a little bit. Whatever you might have lost handling it, trying to get the pinky in there. You want to go ahead and do that. Get more on there, and then you're ready. You take the animal. We'll use this for instance. You know, hold it, maneuver just like you would any other type of assist feeding. Once you get it in there to a nice portion, then you go ahead, hold the plunger, and give him the animal. Boom. Once you do that, You might only have to work it down his neck just a small amount, but you're good to go. Status Quo Reptiles. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. Check us out on Instagram at Status Quo Reptiles. Also check us out on Facebook, Stat Quo Reptiles.
Menace on the beat.